Welcome guys to the Meet Damien channel. Bitcoin crypto live stream we got going on here. We're gonna take a look at Bitcoin like we normally do, starting off the stream, and then we'll take a look at some of these altcoin requests. I see John316 in the chat already putting in the request for Chronos and ZBCN, and I see Duality C in the live stream as well. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. And yes, don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Appreciate that. It lets YouTube and TikTok know that we got a good stream going on here. And yes, I am doing a TikTok live stream. I got my phone here for the camera for my TikTok guys. But yeah, let's get into it. Bitcoin currently trading at $118,900, down slightly down today. We're pretty much at the same price that Bitcoin was at yesterday. You guys remember what Bitcoin was at yesterday? On Sunday we were trading we opened at about $116,000, and we got as high as like 119,000, but we closed around like 119,000. That's pretty much like where Bitcoin price is at right now. But what I'm not liking so far is this little shooting star candle that we're creating right now. You got the you know, the candle wick, the big wick to the upside. You got a small body towards the bottom of the candle, and this is indicating a lot of selling pressure. A lot of selling pressure came in when Bitcoin was threatening to go up back to all-time highs, or you know, on this Monday morning that we had. We're gonna go into like the 1-hour chart and the 15-minute chart for Bitcoin to show you like where this selling pressure came in and what we've seen today. But overall, just look at the daily candle here and the overall picture here for Bitcoin. We're getting rejected basically near the all-time high, and we're coming back down to the 0.786 retracement at $117,900 Bitcoin. We might see that later on tonight, going into tomorrow, especially if we get a bad CPI report. We have a CPI inflation report coming out for the United States. That's coming out tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. That could be a little bit of a doozy if it's a bad inflation report. We're hoping that it's a good inflation report, and we're hoping that this is just, you know, some crazy Monday manipulation, right? going on in the markets. And you know, it's understandable that the Wall Street guys would actually sell off a rally that we've had at the weekend. That's kind of what you get, you know, with the weekend rallies, is that we get knocked back down on Mondays and Tuesdays here. So, you know, that's pretty much what we got going on right now. We're going to go into the 1 hour time frame here soon, but let me firstly click on the oscillators here. You can see that Bitcoin on the daily time frame, the RSI, is not overbought. Okay, we're primed and ready to go to higher prices. So it's such a shame that we actually got knocked down. Okay, and then here on the MACD for Bitcoin on the daily time frame, we were starting to get some green candles showing up here. It would be very weird if we just all of a sudden just went down and had a bunch of selling pressure coming in, like we did throughout the end of July going into the first week of August here. That was a rough couple of weeks here. I'm expecting this to actually be a good week for Bitcoin. I was expecting Bitcoin to get up to $120,000 later on. You know, when yesterday's live stream, I was saying Bitcoin could probably get up to $120,000 at some point, and maybe even threaten to go up to the all-time high again. And we kind of did that literally like in one day. Like, I was expecting that to be like later on this week, but we did that in one day. But anyways, MACD is looking healthy for us to go to higher prices if we want to. Stochastic RSI is starting to get a little bit high to the high end. And also here on the Market Cipher B, we did get a buy dot here, a green buy dot on Thursday. But we haven't had a red sell dot come in yet. So I think we can still be cautiously optimistic on Bitcoin going up to higher prices here, because we haven't had that red sell dot. Last time we had a red sell dot was back here Wednesday, July 16th. And that was a good time to get out of Bitcoin. You would have been able to get out at around like $117,000, $120,000, and you would have avoided the mess that we had over the last couple of weeks if you just listened to that red sell dot here on Market Cipher B. We haven't had that yet, so I still think we're good. Okay, be very disconcerting if we all of a sudden just decided to just sell off here. But another thing that we have to worry about is, you know, we did have the all-time high on July 14th, but this could be considered a lower high if we're not able to get back up to 122K relatively soon. I would say we need to see 122K Bitcoin sooner rather than later, but definitely within the next few days before this week is over. We need to see 122K, or else this could be considered a double top, okay, on the price of Bitcoin, and also a lower high. So we don't want to see that. We do not want to see that. Right now, I think Bitcoin's coming down to 117,900 if we continue on with the sell-off here. We could also see Bitcoin come down to the 21 EMA at 116,900, basically 117K. So like, I'm thinking 117, 118K could possibly be where Bitcoin tries to get some support here. I don't know if we're actually going to revisit the golden pocket level, but we do have the golden pocket at 113, 114K here. Okay, that could be an area that we could get some more support if we lose 117K. Now, let's go into the 1 hour time frame to see like what the hell happened today. Okay, so you know, we saw Bitcoin reaching for higher prices last night. Looks like as soon as the futures market opened around like 6 p.m. on Sunday, we started seeing some bids coming in, and they really started sending it at around like 9 o'clock last night. And then 10 o'clock we got up to like $121,000, and then we continue buying. I guess you can thank the Asian markets. You know, the guys over in Asia were buying up Bitcoin, while, you know, us here in the United States, we were sleeping. We saw Bitcoin get up to like 122.3K at 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern time here, and then the sell-off started coming in. And you know, we had a deep sell-off going into right before the stock market opened up. And then when the stock market opened up, there was a little bit of a buying going on, but then they sold it around this afternoon, and now we're now seeing Bitcoin at 119K. Let's take a look at what the oscillators were showing with all that action going on here. We'll look at the RSI here. So yeah, you can see on the 1 hour time frame, we were getting overbought on Bitcoin last night. You know, we saw RSI like 82. Doesn't mean that you can't stay overbought, and we were staying overbought. but RSI started cooling down after 2 a.m. and now we have an RSI of like 41. And is that hidden bullish divergence that I'm seeing here on the chart here for the 1 hour time frame? Let's see, RSI right now is at 41.37, and we have a low. We have a low on the price of 118,500. Going back to like the last low back here, we had an RSI of 43.54, and the price was at 116,400. So we're, the price is all right. Let me just get rid of the moving averages real quick. But I think I'm spotting some hidden bullish divergence on the 1 hour time frame, so we could still be bullish if that's the case, right? Let's take a look. So yeah, 43.54 and right now 41.37. Yeah, we have hidden bullish slightly, okay, on the RSI. We have a slight hidden bullish divergence. What this means, for those who don't know about hidden bullish divergence, this is just a continuation pattern. It means that we can continue being bullish. It means that the sellers are coming in and they're trying to push the price of Bitcoin down, but they're not able to actually create a new lower low on price. We're actually creating a higher low on price, even though there's more selling pressure, right? The RSI is at 41 right now. Back here, on our latest low that we had an RSI of 43. The sellers are not, the sellers are doing their hardest and darnest to actually push the price down, but they're not really doing it. So this is actually hidden bullish divergence. Like, they're trying their best to push the price down, but they can't. Okay? So you can continue to remain bullish just based on the 1 hour time frame here on Bitcoin, from what I'm seeing with the hidden bullish divergence. All right, I see Kevin's in the chat. Good afternoon, Kevin. And I see Jay Sharim made it into the chat as well. Asking why is Hood down? I think that's a stock you want me to take a look at. We'll take a look at that. We're going to look at Cronos and ZBCN, and then we'll look at your request for Hood as well. Let me go ahead and start writing these things down here. So we got Cronos coming up on deck, and then ZBCN, and then we'll take a look at Hood. And let me see, do my TikTok guys have any requests here? I know you guys are starting to show up on the stream right now. Looks like we have a request for Mix. Okay. We'll take a look at Mix for you. August D, I see you making that request. And you're asking, will Mix go down? So I'm just going to put that as a question mark here. Alright. Yeah, so that's Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame showing some hidden bullish divergence. I think this is just another buy to dip opportunity in my opinion. I actually bought some virtuals on a trade that I entered into for my day trading. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I actually got into virtuals right now at $1.34 right now. And my take profits is $1.75. I'm trying to stay in it as a swing trade, but my stop loss is at $1.30, and I'm just using Mexi Exchange here. Okay, but yeah, that's I just view this as a opportunity to buy some, take a long and see how things work here. If Bitcoin can hold this higher low that looks like it's forming right now, we could be off to higher prices going into tomorrow or Wednesday, where we could see Bitcoin try to challenge that all-time high at 123K. All right, so that's Bitcoin. I think that's enough of Bitcoin. We'll go into Cronos now. Let's see how Cronos is doing. Cronos currently trading at 16, almost 16.5 cents, up 1.4%. We're actually trading at 0.167 pennies for Cronos. Let me get into the daily time frame here. Cronos is still getting a nice solid green candles, and it's been green candle after green candle ever since like Wednesday of last week here for Cronos. I think Cronos is still heading on its way to the take profit target that we've had. Take profit target 1 is sitting at 19 cents. I think that's where you might get rejected, okay, if Cronos actually makes it to that price. That's actually where the 1618 is for the Fibonacci extension. That's where the 1618 is holding firm at. I'm still going to keep this Fibonacci analysis for Cronos. I think it still is a good place for us to analyze this crypto. We're actually hanging out right now at the 1272 for Cronos, this 0.1685 penny level here. Could be where we kind of go sideways, so maybe we don't actually make it to the 19-cent level, at least not anytime soon, but we're still looking for that 19-cent level. We are at a level where people would be taking profits, and that's the 1272 fib extension level here. Let's go into the oscillators here. Let's see how we're looking on the RSI for Cronos, and RSI is overbought, so we're at 75.22 for Cronos. That's the RSI, that red number right there. This leads me to believe that Cronos is probably gonna, most likely go sideways at best, maybe even come down a little bit on price. It's gonna be hard for it to continue to go up to higher prices with the RSI being so high right now. Anytime you have an RSI above 70, you're pushing your luck with trying to push it up to higher prices. All right. And if Cronos for some reason does decide to come down to lower prices, I think it could try to revisit the 15-cent level here, which that was a level that we were trying to get above here in July. Maybe this will then act as support if we do come down to that level, and we can just create a higher low and go up to higher prices from there. Let's see, 15-cent level, does that match up with anything else here? Yeah, that's also some tops here that we saw back in January, so I think 15 cents should be a good support level if Cronos does come down for a shallow pullback here. Alright, moving on to ZBCN. ZBEC network. Currently, ZBEC network is at 48,280, down 6.4% today. That's I see the possibility that we are making higher highs on the uptrend here and higher lows, but I'm a little bit worried that this could possibly be considered a lower high in the grand scheme of things compared to the high that we made here on May 30th. Where we saw ZBEC network as high as 71,900. I'm still going to give it the benefit of the doubt that we're just creating, higher highs and higher lows until we actually can challenge the highs that we made back here in May. But if ZBEC does decide to come down, this could be considered, almost like a double top with these two candles here. And we might come down to lower prices. The low price level that we're looking for is 34,800, and also 37,000. I marked that off in the chart here. The 34,800 is a 0.236 retracement, and the 37,300 level is a level that I noticed on the chart was respected as support and resistance over the last few weeks here on ZBEC. All right. Let me throw in the moving averages, see if there's any moving average support. Ooh, interesting. So you have the 50-day moving average sitting at 37,900. So I think that 37,000 level is a level to watch out for. We could get, maybe a bounce off that level. Might be where you might be able to scoop up some cheaper ZBEC if you're inclined to buy some more of it right now. You might want to wait until we get down to that 50-day moving average. See how ZBEC handles itself at that area. Now this 50-day moving average is climbing up. So, if ZBEC kind of like goes sideways a little bit while also going down slightly, this 50-day moving average might start climbing up to this 0.382 level, and we might actually get support at the 41,000 level for ZBEC. So I think anywhere between 37,000 and 42,000 might be a good area to start putting in some buy limit orders if you're trying to buy some more ZBEC. Now ZBEC actually does continue up to higher prices here. We're going to see how it handles itself at that 786 retracement at the 61,000 level. Did we get up that high? We almost got up that high last Thursday at 60,800. So I would expect that to act as resistance again until we can actually flip it to support, and then we'll just see if ZBAC's able to climb up to 71,000. And we're just going to take it level by level. I don't think I need to get into the fib extension levels. We have talked about that this thing could get up to 1 penny, but that's going to be later on in 2025. Right now, we just got to get past half a penny and then see if we can actually make it to like 0.007 pennies here. Okay, so that's ZBAC upside downside targets. We'll now move on to Mix, and then we'll look at Hood. Mix, is this Mix Finance that you're asking for, I believe? See how that's trading on Mexi Exchange. August D, if you could just let me know if that's the cryptocurrency you want me to take a look at. You're still in the chat here. Alright, and I also see some more requests here for is Dogecoin going to blow up? It might. I'll put that down as a request though. We'll take a look at the chart. And then let's see, do I have any more requests here? Yep, the CPI is tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. And then I think the PPI report comes out on Thursday. Be on the lookout for that one as well. Alright. Let's go ahead and take a look at Mix here. Mix Finance currently trading at $1.70, up 1.97% today. And looks like you just all of a sudden caught the bids here in the beginning of August. I don't really have that much data for Mix. This thing looks like it started trading on Mexi Exchange back on May 6th, and it was kind of like almost flatline for the most part, hanging out at this 0.08 penny level here, less than a penny. Looks like you started catching the bids here on August 3rd, up 48%. Jeez, oh wow, okay. You went from like 1 penny to like 2 pennies, or a penny and a half, and then caught some more bids, up 136% on August 4th. So that was actually a weekend where most crypto was having a hard time, a hard go at it, and this thing just caught bids on a bad weekend for crypto. That's interesting. All right, and then looks like you were, still climbing up, and now you're kind of creating a bull flag here on Mix. You're doing bullish consolidation because you just came out of an uptrend here, and now you're going sideways. And I think that makes sense. If I turn on the oscillators here, yeah, if I turn on the RSI, you'll see that the RSI is clearly overbought. We're at 84.51 on the RSI. You had an RSI like 98 back on August 6th. Jeez. Okay. 97 the day before that. So this thing needs to like chill out and calm down for a second here. Alright. Also, you can see buying pressure on the MACD is also kind of dying off a little bit. I would be probably looking for shorts rather than longs at this point. And then also here on the on the Market Cipher B, we had a red dot that came in on this Saturday saying that you should be selling your mixed investment here. So I wouldn't be looking for longs right now. I would be taking profit if I'm in profit, and I would be looking for shorts maybe, possibly, if this thing does decide to come down just as fast as it came up. You got as high as about $2.50 on Friday here. And that's the high watermark for now. Let's go ahead and do a fib retracement now. From 250 down to this 1 penny level here. Or 10, yeah. We were trading at like 10 cents here. Okay. Yeah, so you are currently just trading at the 618 and the 65 retracement. The golden pocket level has acted as support as of now. If you lose this golden pocket level, you could come down to the 0.5 retracement, but you're still far off from a lot of the moving like the moving average for the 21 EMA is sitting at 61 cents. Don't be surprised if you could possibly get this thing cheaper at the 65 cent level here with that 0.236 retracement sitting at. I would just put in a buy limit order just in case this thing does come down to this level. You might get lucky enough to get filled, because just as fast as you came up, so we know in cryptocurrency world, if they don't have staying power, they can come down just as fast as they came up. So you might be able to get lucky enough to get this thing at basically like a 50% discount from where it's trading at right now. Almost like, yeah, more than 50%. Let's see if this thing did come down that far. Like a 64% discount. You could get this thing on sale if it does come down that low. But there's still some levels that it needs to, you know, break through before it gets down to that level. There might be some support at $1.29. There might also be some support at $1 psychological level there. That's the 0.32 retracement. But after this thing does consolidate, you want to see this thing eventually get back up to the 0.76 retracement, now $1.98, and then see if it can challenge that $2.50 level. And then later on in the future, maybe later on in 2025, you might see $3 for this cryptocurrency. That would be the 1272 fib extension level. Mario's asking for TARS AI. Yep, I got you, Mario. We can do that. You didn't show up too late on this stream here, so I can actually do that. I remember you came in yesterday, but I was getting towards the end of my live stream here. Yes, we're gonna do Doge. Doge is coming out, coming before TARS AI. All right, now we're gonna take a look at Hood. And I believe that's Robinhood you're asking for, which is on the Nasdaq. Give me a second here, guys. I'm getting a little bit hot in my apartment. I'm gonna try to turn on the AC here real quick. One moment. Alright, I'm back with you guys. Hood, Robinhood, trading at $113.62. Nice uptrend I'm seeing here. Clearly above all the moving averages on the daily time frame here, even above the 21 EMA. But it could be a little bit overextended. It might want to at least come back down to the 21 EMA. That's sitting at $105 here. And Robinhood has just been a beast of a stock all throughout the years here. I'm just looking at some previous price action here. I'm a little curious, is this thing overbought on the RSI? You were overbought back in like July 18th and July 2nd and June 6th. This could possibly be bearish divergence, maybe. However, looking at Market Cipher B, you had a green buy dot that came in last Thursday. Tell me if there's any news developments. I think Robinhood is becoming more involved with cryptocurrencies, so that kind of makes sense. We had a good day and a good week. And a good weekend for crypto. I'm wondering if that's the reason why Robinhood's chart is looking similar to like Bitcoin at this point. We got a green buy dot that came in last Thursday. So Robinhood, it still has some fuel in the tank, and you got that green buy dot on Market Cipher B, and then also looking at the trying to get the MACD to show here. Yeah, all this selling pressure here towards the end of July and going in the first week of August, and now you starting to get a green candle here on the MACD for Robinhood. This is looking almost exactly like Bitcoin's chart. You have the juice to go up to higher prices if you want to on Robinhood here. I think downside target right now is at $105. But if you lose that, possibly you could come down to the 50-day moving average at $70.39 here. I think there's probably going to be some support levels before you get to that level, but this thing is looking very bullish in my opinion. Alright. Let's go ahead and try to turn the VRVP on, see what the levels are here. So I got the VRVP indicator off to the right. You got a lot of volume. We got a high volume node here at like $100, but we did say 105 was where we could see this come down to, and that's where the 21 EMA is sitting at, and that's also kind of like a high volume node there too. If you start to lose like $91 to the downside, you got a big gap in the VRVP. You might get a little bit of support at $83, but most of the support is actually right here at $74. So $74, $75 is your big support zone. That's where this thing was kind of trade sideways at back in June. But this thing seems like the trend is your friend, and up and to the right is how the stock is going to continue climbing. Let me go ahead and do a quick Fibonacci, and then we can figure out, you know, how high this thing could possibly go to the upside. So you got a 1272 that says that this stock could climb up to $141 before people start taking profit, maybe. And then ultimately you got the 1618 saying $170 could be a possibility for a Robinhood. Later on, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to put a time date on this, but this is saying $170 is a possibility here. That's the 1618 fib extension. Alright, I think that covers the upside downside targets for Robinhood. And then look, that 0.5 retracement at $74. That $74 number coming back into play again. I think $74 is the level to look out for Robinhood if it does, you know, go down for whatever reason. Rise to Motivation wants to look at XRP. We'll take a look at XRP. We'll take a look at that after TARS AI. Thank you for the request. Alright, so now that we looked at Robinhood, we'll take a look at Dogecoin and then TARS AI. Alright, I remember, what was your question about Dogecoin? Did you say about will Dogecoin blast off or something like that? I think you said something like to that nature. CPI tomorrow. All right. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button. For my TikTok guys, you gotta double tap the screen. That's how you send a like my way. Appreciate that. Yep. All right. So Dogecoin currently trading at 22 cents, down 3% today. Not liking what I'm seeing right here, trading a lower high to the highs that we saw here back in July at 28 cents. Let me go ahead and get rid of this previous chart work here. You have the 200-day moving average below you that could act as support at 20 cents. You got the 100-day sitting at 19 cents. I think 19, 20 cents is where Dogecoin could get some support. It's also where we had a higher low form at around, you know, just under 19 cents here. That 100-day moving average, that blue line, did act as support in the past. Maybe it could act as support again if we do come down to lower prices here. Let me go ahead and pull up the fib. I'm going to pull the fib down from here to the low back in June. Yeah, we got down to like 14 cents roughly. Hey Dave, I see you in the chat. Appreciate you coming on board. Alright, so now we're looking at Dogecoin, and yeah, we got rejected off the golden pocket level here at 23 cents. Looks like we topped off. We got up to like as high as like 24, almost 25 cents on Saturday here for Dogecoin. And I just think that if we are going to come down to low prices, we'll get support at like 19, 20 cents here. You got the 382 retracement and the 0.5 retracement, but you also got the moving averages below you that could act as support as well. I feel like the buy orders will start coming in at this level if Dogecoin does go to lower prices here. Now, if Dogecoin decides to go up to higher prices, now we still have the 786 retracement at 0.257 pennies that could act as resistance out of nowhere. Okay, if you see Dogecoin get rejected or go sideways at that level, don't be surprised, because that's your 786 retracement level. There might be some people taking profits at that level. But we do eventually want to see Dogecoin get up to that 28 cent level here, which it was back here on July 21st. And then you got the fib extension to the upside saying that we have a 1272 that says 32 cents could be where people take profit on their Dogecoin. And then we have a 1618 saying that 37 cents could be where a good majority of people are probably going to take profit. And that 37 cent level is confluent with like the prices here that people were paying back in December of last year and January of this year. I think 37 cent is going to be your ultimate take profit target for Dogecoin later on in 2025 here. Alright, moving on from Dogecoin, we're going to take a look at TARS AI. This thing always messes up. Let's see, TARS, yeah, there we go. TARS AI on Mexi Exchange. Alright, I have previous chart work here. TARS AI currently trading at 7 cents. Have we respected the you shall not pass level here? Because if you pass it, you are going to be in trouble. Alright, TARS AI looking like it's getting out of the downtrend that it's been in. Let me get rid of the moving averages for now, but we had a downtrend that was acting like a bully over the last few weeks and few months here. And TARS AI finally got out of it, okay? A little bit of strong move up here on Saturday and Sunday. And now you're just trading, it looks like you're down today, down 8%. But you could just keep going sideways and just stay above this 0.058 level that I highlighted here. Because this 0.058 level was a level that was acting as resistance and also support throughout the past couple of years here. And see, you got the support right there and support right there. Do not lose that level. You almost played with played with fire here on Saturday, August 2nd, where you lost that level, but then you came back up again and got above it. All right. What could end up happening now with TARS AI is we could end up trying to revisit the downtrend line here at like 6 cents before we could use that as support and show us that we're going to stay above 6 cents. I think as long as you're above 6 cents, you can be cautiously optimistic on TARS AI. Now let me go ahead and throw the moving averages on now. And you're below the moving averages, but now you're starting to use these moving averages. They're acting as resistance. This 100-day was acting as resistance at 7.077 pennies here. We got above, I mean, today we got as high as like 8 cents on TARS AI. But as we continue going up to higher prices, if we do continue up to higher prices, you might get the next resistance at the 50-day moving average sitting at around 9 pennies. And then the 200-day acting as resistance at 10 pennies. But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far with TARS AI. Okay, stay away from 6 cents, stay above 6 cents, and I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be alright. You'll be, safe for now. Cautiously optimistic. You lose 6 cents, and then that's when, things get really bad, and you might come down and revisit 2.5 cent level here. Okay? But yeah, your downside target, stay above 6 cents. Do not go below 6 cents. And upside targets, you got the 100-day and the 50-day and the 200-day could act as resistance at 9 and 10 pennies here. We'll see how TARS AI, if TARS AI can get above the 200-day moving average at 10 cents, we'll take a look at the chart again, and then we'll try to figure out where it could go from there. Okay. But for now, those are your upside targets, and those are your resistance levels, as far as I see with TARS AI. All right, moving on from TARS AI to XRP. One of the crowd favorites, XRP, currently trading at $3.16, down 0.69%, 69. What a great number. All right, and we do have previous chart work here. We have the Fibonacci analysis that I drew the fibs from $3.66, where we got us that high back on July 21st, down to a low here of like $1.90 on June 22nd, and I got these fib levels here to look out for. Looks like we had a bad few days here for XRP, and we're trending downward towards the 0.65 retracement. Looks like XRP wants to retest the $3 level all over again here, which is where the golden pocket is sitting at. I think that's where XRP Army will show up, hopefully in full force, to defend the $3 level, not go below it, and then we can try to bounce up and retest the 0.786 retracement at $3.28, and then try to flip that from resistance to support to try to then recapture that $3.66 level. Okay, but it's kind of like a battle zone. Like, we're probably gonna go down to the golden pocket, and then we're gonna come out and probably retest $3.28. We might get above it, just then come back down to 328, retest it, and then try to make our move up to 366. And that might happen all throughout the month of August. We might just be in like a battle zone for XRP. But, you know, battle zone, XRP Army, I think XRP Army can handle it. We just don't want to go below $3 here on XRP. But if you do go below $3, you do have some fib levels here, but also you got some moving averages that are sitting at like 253 and $2.45, which is where the 200-day moving average is sitting at. I think, you know, that level 245, 250, it's like a psychological level where XRP Army is going to be like, hey, you know what, we couldn't defend $3, but $2.50 seems cheap to me, and I'll buy some XRP at that level. And I think XRP will be able to stay above 250 for now. But let's see if they can be better than that and actually keep us above $3. Matter of fact, let's just not go lower than where we are right now and just see if XRP Army can take us up to, you know, $3.60 or $4. Because your upside target for XRP later on in 2025, you might see $4.13, which is the 1272 fib extension level. And then you got the $4.74 level here. That's your 1618 fib extension level. I think those prices are possible for XRP later on in 2025. Alright, we got some more requests here. Looks like we have a request for AVT and Optimism. Thank you guys for the requests. AVT and Optimism. And were you trying to say please there for Optimism, or was that, or is there another crypto called PLES? All right, Bitcoin baby, how you doing? If you got a request, we're taking requests here, and we're looking at your cryptocurrencies on the charts here. That's what we're doing on this live stream. All right, moving on to AVT. Is that a stock? There's also a crypto AVT. If you could tell me, TJ, if you're still in the chat, do you want to look at AVT the stock or AVT the crypto? I'm assuming a lot of people are asking about cryptos these days, so I'm assuming that you want me to look at the crypto here. But you tell me. I'm gonna look at the crypto first, unless you say, oh no, look at the stock. Alright, so looking at AVT, Aventus USD on Coinbase Exchange. And Aventus is currently trading at $1.68. Looking at the daily time frame here. And I'm just zooming out to see where this thing has been. Seems like it has the same story as a lot of these old coins, where it had, you know, its best days in December of last year when this thing was as high as like $4.39. Making lower highs. Some scam wicks here, in my opinion. But could you be bottoming out here on Aventus? Looks like the low came in on June 22nd at $1.17. You got a high here at 247 on July 18th. And the 200-day moving average, I would like to see this thing get above the 200-day moving average. If you could get above the 200-day moving average, which is sitting at $1.80, then I will be I would have a bullish bias on this asset here. But because you're below the 200-day moving average and it's acting as resistance right now, I have to continue being bearish until this thing can prove to us that we can get above that 200-day moving average. Get above the 200-day moving average, and then I'll be cautiously optimistic and bullish on this asset here. And then once you do that, then I want to start seeing higher highs being made here. Okay. Last high that we have to beat is $2.47. Do that, and I'll be more bullish. Also, yeah, the high here at 246 on May of 2025 here. And eventually I want to see you get up to like the high prices that we saw back here in January. But I'm going to turn the VRVP for this one here. See what the high volume nodes are like. See what that tells us for targets here. So I got the VRVP, which is this green and red indicator on the right. The green is all the buys at a certain price level. The red is all the sells at a certain price level. You put those two together and you get the high volume nodes here. The highest volume node would be this blue line right here at $2.19, and that's called the point of control, the POC. I think $2.19 is going to be a very hard level for this thing to get above. You can see that every time we try to get above it, we got shot right back down, right? So I think $2.17 show that you can actually stay there and stay above it. And then the bullish case starts to become even greater, that this thing can go to higher prices, because the VRVP, the volume starts to drop off on the nodes here. You might get a little bit of resistance at this value area high at $2.82, which is a price that this thing was trading at back in like December and January. And then the volume drops even more as you go up to higher prices here. But I think for now, let me just mark it off. I'm going to put a line here. This should be your first take profit target at $2.19. Then your second take profit target is probably going to be like right over here at 281 or 283, somewhere around there. That should be your take profit target. So let me just get rid of the VRVP right now. Your take profit target 1, $2.19. Take profit target 2, 283. Those are the levels you're aiming for Aventus if you want to take profit on this asset here. All right. TZN says order flow structure will not work on long term. Okay, thank you for that info there. All right, we'll move on to Optimism. And Dave P, we just looked at XRP. I don't know if you're just celebrating the fact that we looked at XRP, but yeah. I already gave the targets, upside, downside targets. XRP needs to stay above $3, which I think XRP Army is going to try to do. And then we do have some a $4.17 target, I think, and a $4.67 target to the upside. Yeah, you're just celebrating. Yep. All right. Looking at Optimism, currently trading at 76 cents. And Optimism has also been in a downtrend like a lot of these other cryptocurrencies. It's seen that some of its better days back here in March of 2024. But is this thing done bottoming out here, right? I mean, I got data going all the way back to like 2022. And it looks like 51 cents was a almost a bottom here for Optimism. It might even be lower than that. Let's see how low did we get back here in July of 2022. 40 cents? Okay. Did we actually get down to 40 cents here in 2025? Oh, wow. Yeah, we actually kind of did. We got down to like 45 cents on June 22nd. Is this thing bottoming out here? I'm going to go ahead and see if there's any bullish divergence. I see higher lows on the RSI and lower lows on price. So here's what I see going with, let me just try to close things off here for a second here. We'll just look at the RSI and we'll look at the price. what I see here with Optimism, obviously you made lower lows on price. You can see that on the chart here. But you made higher lows here on the RSI. That is bullish divergence. That is the beginning of bottoming out for any asset. In this case, that would be Optimism. So you got the bullish divergence that came into play. Then the next thing I want to see after you make bullish divergences, I want to see you make higher lows and higher highs. Yeah, you kind of are making higher lows right now on the daily time frame. Let me just draw that out real quick here. You are making higher lows on the RSI. Are you making higher highs? That's the next order of business that we need to do. So we had a high here on July 28th where we got as high as like 87 cents. Did you get above that here in May? May you got as high as 95 cents. So not quite a higher high yet. Okay. But that's okay. Because as long as you continue making higher lows, don't lose this uptrend that you're in. You can start building up the bullish case here on Optimism. And then the other thing I want to see with Optimism to become more optimistic on Optimism, to become more bullish on Optimism, I want to see you get above this 200-day moving average. This 200-day moving average, this red line, acting as a bully as of now, is sitting at 80 cents. You're right below that. And you can see as I start to zoom in on the chart here, this 200-day moving average is being respected as resistance as of now. So you're probably going to get bounced in between this uptrend here and the 200-day moving average until you can finally show us that you're going to get above the 200-day moving average and stay above it. Okay? So you're getting close to it. You're getting close to like where we could start becoming more bullish. We might start seeing more money pouring into Optimism as we try to flip the 200-day moving average from resistance into support. This is the beginning of good things here, okay? I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. But would be better if we start making higher highs. Get above that $2, I'm sorry, get above that 87 cent area. And then you could actually say that you're actually making higher highs and higher lows and that you're actually in an uptrend on Optimism. And then eventually I want to see you get above, right over here, 95 cents. Let's do that, and then we can say that we're actually making higher highs on Optimism. Alright. Jay Sharim is asking me, why are the markets down? Is it because we are nearing the consumer reports coming up Wednesday and Thursday? Yeah, we do have the CPI reports coming up, but we also had a pretty good weekend for Bitcoin and crypto. And we had a good week last week, so, you know, things don't go up forever. I think what happened is usually Wall Street, you know, they'll take advantage of the fact Wall Street will take profit. And when they take profit, they'll actually move the markets a lot more than what the retail people can do on the weekends, okay? Let me go back to Bitcoin again, okay? You know, looking at the RSI for Bitcoin on the daily time frame, you know, we're only at like 59.67. That's not really saying that we're overbought, okay? But if you go into like the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin, and we already looked at Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame, but I'll do it again for you here. The 1 hour time frame showed that the RSI was overbought last night going into this morning. So Wall Street probably saw that and they said, all right, $122,000 Bitcoin all-time high, seems like a good time to sell some Bitcoin and sell some crypto here. They took advantage of it. I mean, look at Ethereum. Ethereum was at like, what, $4,300 earlier last night? Going into this morning? Yeah. They took profit. It's just profit taken. That's all that we're getting right now. But the big good news that I got for you is on the 1 hour time frame, even though we were overbought on the RSI, we kind of created hidden bullish divergence here, okay? You have higher lows here on the price, okay? But you have lower lows on the RSI. RSI right now is at 40.46. This is on the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin. You're not going to get this unless you're on the 1 hour time frame. And then back here on Saturday, we had an RSI of like 43.54. So you have a lower RSI compared to what you had on Saturday, even though the price is higher than what it was on Saturday. This is indicating that sellers, they try to bring the price of Bitcoin down, right? They try to bring the price of Bitcoin down today. And they did it with a lot more fire and fury than they did here on Saturday. However, even with all that selling that they did today, they were not able to bring the price of Bitcoin down to where it was on Saturday. So this is hidden bullish divergence. This is a continuation pattern. This means you can continue being bullish on Bitcoin, at least on the 1 hour time frame here. I'm gonna try to zoom out to a 4 hour time frame. Could you see that with the 4 hour time frame? Barely, not really. But even on the 4 hour time frame, you're still in an uptrend. You're still creating higher lows here. And you have made higher highs compared to what you did back here in Sunday of last week, right? So I think this is still good. We can still be bullish here on Bitcoin. We're just getting profit taken. That's all. Just people taking profit. They saw $122,000 Bitcoin. They thought that was a good price to sell because we saw Bitcoin at 123K back in the middle of July. So, for those who missed out on selling it at that price, they got a chance to sell it close to that price this morning and last night. But going back into the daily time frame, if Bitcoin was to continue seeing more profit taken, then that could create some buying opportunities where we could see Bitcoin come down to 117.9K. I think that's an area where we might get some support. Or we might even get some more support at the golden pocket level here at $113,000, $114,000. Now that's going to hurt, especially for my day trades and my longs that I got in right now. I'll probably get stopped out before we even get down to that level. But that is still a level to be looking out for that could provide us some support here. And if I turn on the moving averages, let's see, moving averages. Yeah, we do have a 50-day moving average sitting at 109K. I don't think we'll come down that far, but there is some support at that level. And we even got more support with the other moving averages below us. So I think we can still be bullish here on Bitcoin. We're just getting a little bit of a buying opportunity and some profit taken. Jarim saying, what are my estimates for XRP and Dogecoin by end of day of this bull run? Is that what EOD means, end of day? Or did you meant to say end of year? My estimates for XRP is that we'll probably most likely stay above $3. Hopefully. Or we could come down to $2.50. And then upside target is that we could see $4 XRP or like $4.50 XRP. Maybe later on this month or next month. End of the bull run. What are my targets for XRP? Well, let's go back at the XRP chart and I'll show you what the 3618 says on the fib extensions here. Alright, so we're looking at the XRP again. It's trading at 314. And my Fibonacci analysis, the fib extension levels are showing that the 2618 says we could get to $6.50 XRP. Probably later on in 2025. And then there's a balls to the wall target where we could see $8 XRP. And that's your 3618. It's actually about $8.26. That could happen later on in 2025 or the end of this bull run. If the bull run dips into 2026, maybe you might see $8 XRP. According to the Fibonacci here. And that's all I can do. I can't really, because we never been that high with XRP, so I really don't have much data I can give you besides using fib extensions here. I can't do like a VRVP. I can't do moving averages. It would just be strictly fib extension. That's why I like using Fibonacci, because Fibonacci, it can give you downside targets based on what we've already done. But then the Fibonacci can also give you fib extension levels, where it can give you what the price could possibly go if you go to new all-time highs and go into price discovery mode. That's why I like using Fibonacci. Yep. Alright, so I get my guys here on TikTok are being kind of quiet here, but that's alright. And my guys here on YouTube, you guys keep me busy with the questions here. And then you also had another question before. You said XRP and Dogecoin. Dogecoin, we'll take a look at Dogecoin one more time here. I think we said 37 cents was the target for Dogecoin. Like end of the bull run, we could see Dogecoin get up to 37 cents, but then there's also a 2618 at 52 cents and a 3618 at 66 cents. And I think 66 cents is like kind of like where we were at. That's like a price that we haven't seen since like 2021. And this chart doesn't go back to 2021, but I think if we go back to if we look at Dogecoin on Binance Exchange, it probably has it. I mean, Dogecoin, yeah, we saw Dogecoin get as high as 73 cents here on Binance Exchange. Could that be a possibility here in 2025 or the end of this bull run? I don't know. It'd be basically like a 3x from where we are right now. Almost a 4x. How would I play XRP when it reaches $10? Do you expect the price to come down? Yeah, I would expect $10 to be a psychological target where people start taking profit that say that, you know, they were gonna sell at $10 XRP. I know some people are gonna stick it through because some people think XRP is gonna go to $50 or even $500. I'm not one of those people. I think $8 seems about right for XRP, maybe $10. I would not be trying to wait for like $50 XRP in this bull run. No, I don't think XRP is going to go to $50 in this bull run. I think it could go to $8 though, or $10. Yeah, I think more reasonable would be like $5 or $6 for now. We'll see. It all depends how much money pours in the space. I know retail is starting to get interested. I have some friends of mine who are now talking more about crypto right now. I have a buddy of mine that says he's thinking about taking a home line of credit, home equity line of credit, and using that to go buy some Bitcoin and use it as his retirement plan. He never bought Bitcoin before, so that's gonna be just more money going into crypto, right? So if he's thinking about that, that means there's other people out there that's probably thinking about that too. And yeah, I think that's gonna be, those are gonna be the people that are gonna be buying XRP at like $8 or $10. Because how long is it gonna take him to get a home equity line of credit? He still has to fill out the application, do an inspection on his house or whatever, if they want to do an inspection. But he's got to fill out the paperwork and stuff like that. I mean, he could probably get it done in like maybe like 1 or 2, maybe like 2 weeks. But most people, I think it takes like a month for them to get access to a line of credit when you're using your home. So what is the price of XRP and Bitcoin going to be by the time a month from now? We could be seeing $5 XRP and $130,000 Bitcoin by the time he gets his equity line of credit approved. But he's gonna be in it for the long term. He's gonna be in it hoping that Bitcoin goes to $1 million in like 5 to 10 years from now. He told me that that's gonna be his retirement plan. All right. Well, I think we're kind of getting towards the end of this live stream here because I haven't seen any more questions or requests here. And I do have some other things I need to be doing. So I guess we could just plan on seeing me go live again, probably around the same time tomorrow. I like having my afternoons here. We had a nice day here. I actually got a chance to swim in the pool. We got a hot day here, 87 degrees, almost 90 degrees here. I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow afternoon, and then I'll do a live stream here with you guys looking at the markets. Do I see XRP holding for long? XRP is gonna be around for a while. I'm waiting for that XRP ETF. We still haven't gotten an ETF for XRP. We kind of got one for Solana, and we're still waiting for more Solana ETFs to show up. But right now, Wall Street's getting involved with Bitcoin and Ethereum because they got the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. So the big money is able to pour their money into Bitcoin and Ethereum. But I'm waiting for Solana and XRP to get their ETFs up and running. And then we'll see more money flowing into XRP and Solana because of that. And then also the other altcoins as well. We'll see how they do. But yeah, that's going to be it for this live stream, guys. Bitcoin just getting some profit taken and creating a buying opportunity as I see it. I think we'll see the markets move again in a more convincing fashion tomorrow morning around 8:30 when we get the CPI report showing what kind of inflation we have going on out there. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today. I will see you, we'll plan on seeing each other same time tomorrow. Alright, sometime after 4 p.m. Eastern time. Take care, guys.